What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff. And earlier this week, I leaked the bids on Celsius Network's assets. Amongst the bidders were Binance, Galaxy Digital, Bank to the Future, Cumberland DRW, and NovaWulf. Celsius was never planning on showing us these bids. Instead, in the most recent court hearing, an attorney from Kirkland & Ellis, Celsius's legal counsel, proclaimed that the bids have not been compelling. Instead, Celsius wants to pursue their own restructuring plan. So today, we're going to talk about why Celsius claims they rejected all of the bids. We're going to talk about their new restructuring plan and why I hate it. And we'll also talk about an interesting connection that I noticed between Celsius's plan and one of the bids, as well as what I would personally like to see happen. But first, a word from my sponsor, Aura. So I have never shilled a shitcoin, I have never promoted an exchange because I never want to see us get rugged again, but that's why I'm genuinely excited about my sponsorship with Aura. Aura is a company that protects you from scammers and hackers by scanning the dark web for your information like your emails, your phone numbers, your social security number, and alerts you immediately if it finds anything, as well as automatically requests removal. Aura actually found several of my personal passwords as well as my home address and phone number leaked on the dark web, and they automatically requested removal for me. So genuinely, shout out Aura. Thank you, Aura. I love you so very much. Aura actually has a ton of other useful features to keep you safe, like alerts for suspicious financial activity, a VPN, a password manager, identity theft protection, antivirus software. It has it all built into one package so that you don't have to pay for like 8 different subscriptions to things. So I genuinely highly recommend checking out Aura, even if just to check if your personal information has been leaked anywhere on the dark web like mine has been. I actually think you can get a lot out of a 2-week free trial, so to access that, you can go to aura.com/Tiffany, or you can use this handy dandy QR code. Anyway, thank you, Aura. I love you. Thank you for saving my life, and back to the video. So why exactly does Celsius claim they rejected all of the bids without even showing them to us? Well, Celsius points out that they actually have a lot of illiquid assets that can't be harvested quickly, like a lot of staked ETH, the mining business, retail and institutional loan receivables, and investments in other crypto companies. They say that the bids they received have severely undervalued these illiquid assets and that they don't want to sell them at fire sale prices. This sounds understandable at face value, but I'll get into it later why I have an issue with this. They then point to a specific bid without explicitly naming the company, but now that I've released the bids, I think we can assume they're talking about Binance. They say they received a bid that would migrate customer accounts to another cryptocurrency exchange. This bid was likewise not compelling because it did not provide value for the debtor's illiquid assets and would simply migrate the debtor's existing liquid cryptocurrency to another platform in exchange for an insignificant cash payment. So here, they're referring to the fact that Binance placed a bid on our crypto as well as give us $15 million cash. $12 million would go to Celsius, and $3 million would be distributed to migrated customers on a pro rata basis. They also offered $50 in incentives for migrated customers, but yes, they did indeed exclude some illiquid assets like FTT token, CEL token, certain non-liquid tokens, equity investments, mining, the loan portfolio, and fiat cash. They did just want our liquid crypto so that we'd move over to Binance and we'd be able to withdraw it from there. I'll talk more about that later. Celsius then goes on to outline the framework and key features of their proposed restructuring plan. They want to make a recovery corporation, which would be fully licensed and registered and would comply with all applicable federal and state regulations. They also want to create a convenience class to separate smaller account holders from large account holders. So all creditors with claims under a certain threshold, or creditors who choose to reduce their claims to the threshold, that threshold has not yet been named, it could be $5,000, $2,500, we don't know yet, will be offered a one-time distribution of liquid crypto, for example, stablecoins, Bitcoin, or ETH, at a discount to the value of their claims. So you would obviously get a haircut, but you would uniquely get liquid crypto back. Again, only small account holders would be getting liquid crypto back. Large account holders like me, I think my claim stands at about $100,000, would be able to reduce our claims to whatever the specified threshold is, so that could be $5,000. So I would have the option to say, actually Celsius, you don't owe me $100,000, you only owe me $5,000 if I wanted to get that liquid crypto distribution. But obviously that would be subjecting myself to a massive haircut in that hypothetical situation. That would be like a 95% haircut, so not a particularly appealing option for me. For large account holders like me who don't want to drop their claims to a specified threshold limit, the interests of the recovery corporation would be tokenized and distributed to account holders with claims above a certain threshold as asset share tokens that reflect the value of the assets managed by the recovery corporation. Asset share tokens would entitle the holders to dividends from the recovery corporation as assets are monetized and would be freely tradable by holders. In other words, us large account holders wouldn't be getting our liquid crypto back. We wouldn't be getting back our Bitcoins or ETH we deposited. Instead, we'd be getting asset share tokens, which seem to be security tokens that just represent equity in this new company and would pay us dividends. I'm pretty sure the majority of us just want our fucking crypto back. I personally don't want all of my good, liquid Bitcoins and ETH wrapped up with all of Celsius's illiquid assets to form asset share tokens, which I assume and imagine will be quite illiquid. I personally don't see there being a ton of demand for Celsius Network asset share tokens. I imagine that a lot of us are sick of Chapter 11 and sick of dealing with Celsius and would want to sell our asset share tokens immediately, but that would likely plummet the price of these asset share tokens, so all of us large account holders would be screwed if we want immediate liquidity. So yes, I am happy for you small account holders that would get access to immediate liquidity in actual crypto like Bitcoins, ETH, and USDC, but personally, I don't love what this would mean for large account holders like me. Let's also take a look at the fact that they want to create this convenience class. In the most recent court hearing, Celsius stated that this convenience class of account holders under a certain value threshold should cover about 60 to 70% of total customers. Well, that's a pretty convenient number because in order for a Chapter 11 plan to be accepted, you need 66% of the vote, or 2/3. So, in my humble opinion, it seems pretty convenient that Celsius's plan explicitly appeals to 60 to 70% of customers with smaller accounts, while largely, in my opinion, screwing over the rest of us with large accounts. It seems that baked into Celsius's plan is a plan to win over the majority vote. Speaking of votes, we never actually got to vote on any of the bids or even see them until I leaked them. Personally, and you're welcome to disagree with me, I'm not saying my opinion is right, but I would have loved for our liquid crypto assets to be purchased by Binance so that we could all be ported over and be able to withdraw and access some immediate liquidity. Binance also explicitly stated in their bid that users would have the option to participate, so you wouldn't have to do this if you didn't want to. It's funny to me that Celsius claims they rejected this bid because it didn't include their illiquid assets, as if it's some sort of bankruptcy code or law that they can't separate our good liquid crypto assets from the illiquid assets. We've actually already auctioned off some assets separately. In fact, we've already sold GK8, their custodial platform, to Galaxy Digital, and we've sold some of our mining rigs to Tuzi Capital. So there's no reason we wouldn't be able to sell our good liquid crypto assets to Binance and then do something else with the illiquid assets. With all of the remaining illiquid assets, Celsius can go ahead and make their stupid asset share token. They're also asking to extend exclusivity of their plan again. Initially, exclusivity was supposed to end in November, then they extended it till December, then they extended it to February 15th. Well, now they're asking to extend exclusivity again until March 31st, and then until June 30th to solicit votes. Well, I vote no already. I also wanted to point out that Celsius has stated that they might work with a sponsor on this new recovery plan. In their court filing that came out before I leaked the bids, Celsius stated that they received a bid from a potential plan sponsor that is unaffiliated with Celsius or its founders that could manage the recovery corporation, or the debtors could manage the recovery corporation themselves if acceptable terms cannot be reached with the plan sponsor. Well, Celsius never explicitly names this plan sponsor. Now that we've all seen the bids, I personally think the plan sponsor might be NovaWulf. Let's take a look back at NovaWulf's bid and see the eerie similarities between their bid and what we know so far about Celsius's plan. NovaWulf said that they would transfer substantially all assets, coins, loans, and the mining business to an SEC-compliant newco, similar to how Celsius said they wanted to reorganize as a fully licensed company. NovaWulf also stated that creditors would receive pro rata allocations in tokens, one of them being a token that represents the value of the newco, or an asset token. They say that this asset token would give quarterly dividends paid out in US dollars or stablecoins at the advisor or board's direction. If you remember, Celsius's asset share token also plans to pay us dividends. While we don't know a ton yet about Celsius's new plan, I think that the similarities are noteworthy, even some of the specific terminology used. So I don't want to spread any FUD or start any conspiracy theories here, but just connecting the dots, I would go so far as to say that I believe NovaWulf could be Celsius's potential new sponsor in their new recovery plan. What do you guys think? Are you seeing the parallels here? I don't want to sound crazy, but to me it doesn't seem like too big a logical leap. Anyway, I also told you what I would have liked to see happen. I personally don't want to see my good liquid bitcoins and ETH combined with Celsius's illiquid assets to create these presumably illiquid asset share tokens, whose price could plummet if we all try to sell at once to get liquidity. Personally, I would have been happy if Binance bought our good liquid crypto assets so that we could be ported over and be able to withdraw, and then the illiquid assets could be utilized separately. Celsius is welcome to make their asset share tokens with the remaining illiquid assets, but personally, I want to see my bitcoins and ETH back. What do you guys think? What do you guys want? I'm not saying that my opinion is right here. You're welcome to disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. I'm just being honest about what I would have wanted to see. And now we have access to the actual bids on our assets, so if you want to read them, I leaked them all on Substack, tiffanyfong.substack.com. You can read the full bids there. I also genuinely highly recommend you trying out Aura to see if your information has been leaked on the dark web like mine has. They'll also automatically request removal of your information from websites. Some websites had my actual personal address and phone number on there, and Aura automatically removed them for me. So shout out Aura, genuinely. I'm actually super excited about this sponsorship because I love them. So you can try a 14-day free trial of Aura at aura.com/Tiffany, or you can use this handy dandy QR code. Anyway, I hope you're all having a lovely weekend, and I'll talk to you very soon. I love you. Bye.
I mean, how much better do we all feel already just knowing what, the bidders were doing, what Celsius is planning, and what the UCC have said they're going to do? I mean, just even if it's shit information, like bad information or bad news, like information is the currency here. We just need to know who's doing what, so we can plan accordingly. And just the fact that Celsius was able to tell what, from my interpretation, I don't know, maybe I'm going to receive a legal letter from Kirkland Ellis after this, but was able to just lie to the judge's face and say that the bids didn't maximize the illiquid assets. And I had to sit there biting my tongue because of certain contractual obligations. And if it wasn't for Tiffany Fong, you know, um, they would have got away with that. And this is what's the new buzz phrase? Citizen journalism. But that's what this has become. Like we got to hold. This is a process. We're representing creditors here. We're not trying to reorganize Celsius. We're using either the UCC, the bidders, or Celsius in order to maximize the fact that these services were completely misrepresented and people have lost money as a result of it. That's what this process is. And yeah, so let everyone decide what's right for them, and the voting process can work. But hiding information and extending deadlines, and that's the game I don't like playing. I guess I got to play them. I'm pretty shit at playing those games. I'm just an open book, trying to bring value to the process wherever I can.